Hey everybody, this is Charlotte Prinky. Thanks for checking out my channel, Parenting Organically. I am going to make today some dish soap. It's a non-toxic recipe. It's really simple. If you've looked at any of my other DIY things, then you'll see that it's usually just measure, stir, and go. So this one uses a little bit of Thieves Household Cleaner from Young Living and some essential oils if you want, and vinegar. There's a magic component though, chemical reaction with salt, that is pretty amazing. I've done a lot of research to try and find a good recipe, experimented a lot, spent a lot of time and frustration, and I love this dish soap because it ends up being thick, which means my kiddos won't waste it just squeezing a ton out on the rag, and it bubbles up, which is another big thing. We're trained to think that bubbles mean clean, and I have to admit, we tend to use less soap when there's bubbles, and my dog is barking in the background. Sorry, ignore him. Of course, when I start a video, that's what happens. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy this recipe. It smells a little bit vinegary, and that's why I'll give you a few tips with that. But otherwise, it works really well. It's a great degreaser, and I love it. Okay, I hope you do too. Let me know. Bye. Okay guys, here's all the ingredients for my homemade dish soap. This is really simple. Now, when I'm making stuff for recipes, I just buy a cheap sea salt. And now in this video, my Instapot pressure steam is going off in the background. I can't win today. Oh well. So I just buy it cheaper. It is sea salt, but it says, the recipe says kosher salt. It's just something. So this was like at the 99-cent store, it cost me 50 cents, and I do all my recipes with it. Because otherwise I use pink Himalayan for cooking. All right, and then in here is my lemon juice cube that I freeze, and I defrosted that in the microwave because it's going to take two teaspoons of lemon juice. So the magic of this recipe to make it thick is a salt solution. So it is 1 cup of filtered water well, okay, I'm doubling the recipe again, to 4 teaspoons of salt. Okay, so that's what's in here. I warmed up the water, dissolved the salt, and it's sitting here. Then I put 1 cup of my salsas, and I did 1 cup of vinegar, and that's sitting in here. And then I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, and I'm going to add 2 caps of my Thieves cleaner, because it's an amazing all-purpose cleaner. And then because the vinegar it has a hint of vinegary smell, I'm gonna add some essential oils. I like to just do citrus fresh, but then today I'm actually gonna put in some jade lemon, and that'll just kind of mask a little bit of that vinegar smell, but the essential oils are optional. And then I have my Young Living Thieves dish soap container, which I did buy, and it's concentrated. You can dilute it and get like 3 bottles out of it. There's recipes to do that, which is totally fine. But I kind of like this recipe, but I also like having an original bottle that is what it says it is. And so this is my dish soap. So when I emptied it, I'm now making this recipe and just refilling this. But again, big family, doubling it up. I am going to also pretty much fill this. So I'm going to double this recipe, and I'm going to do this full and the extra in here, which is just an empty one that I wrote dish soap on. Okay, so I'm going to measure my juice, and then I'll turn this back on, and I'll show you how adding the salt water makes it thick. Okay, this is my salsas vinegar and lemon juice. I do use fresh lemon juice in this recipe for dish soap because the fresh lemon has that acid in it that's going to really help cut grease. And because it's dish soap and I use it up pretty quickly, I don't have to worry about it molding or going bad or anything, so I use fresh. Now, let's watch. Hey, Noah, come here. I'm going to have my daughter stir this. Come on that side. And she's gonna stir while I video and watch the magic. This is my salt solution, and I'm gonna pour it in. And this liquid is now gonna get thicker and thicker until, look at that. Thank you. Look at this beauty. Now, it looks like it kind of, I have this beautiful, thick soap. Let me see if I can show you. It'll get a little bit thicker as it sits here. And now when I squirt that out, it's actually going to almost stand up on my rag initially. Okay? And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of essential oils. I'm not really gonna worry about how much. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe. And then I'll do some of the jade lemon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know. So I'm just gonna do that. I think that will make it not quite smell as, it doesn't have a strong vinegar smell, but slightly. And my kids really haven't complained, which is nice. Will you have me dish rag? And so there you go. It's nice and thick. It almost like stands up on top. Oh, beautiful. Makes me so happy. And just that one. My daughter's getting me a dish rag. Okay, let me show you. Ew. All right, so here is my dish rag. And if I were to, let's see if I can do this. If I were to squirt it out, it literally is gonna just, whoops, I didn't quite show you. It stands up on there. And so you only need a little bit. It's beautiful. Now come over here. And if I show you, see my cracked sink, it's lovely. Now if I show you a little bit of scrubbing, if I get it wet, let me see, come here, hold my measuring cup. Now, hold it. This is hard to video with one hand, but look, now you can see I have bubbles all over my measuring cup. Hold tight. Okay, so they're not necessarily on my rag.
Pepper's limping.
And now I have all these bubbles on my dishes. So I have thick dish soap that makes bubbles. It smells good, and it's a win-win-win. I love it. So I will fill those up, and I will have this awesome dish soap. So I hope you enjoy it as well. Thanks for watching. Hey, okay, so I forgot to tell you, a lot of my trial and error to get a thick dish soap that would bubble and stay thick was finding a recipe that actually used a salt solution. I was going to explain this when I was doing the recipe, but that just didn't happen. So anyway, I'm back on. Apparently, the salt water solution makes a chemical reaction with the salicylates, which is what thickens it. It's amazing. So I experimented and used a salt solution with Castile soap. And my Instapot again is now beeping. I'm making elderberry syrup, so that's why I have many things going on. There we go, I think it'll stop. Okay, so I thought, well, if that thickens salicylates in my dish soap, they'd be awesome if I could use that to thicken my recipes with Castile soap. Unfortunately, I tried and failed. Bummer. And so that doesn't work. And I finally asked my scientific biology, science, super smart friends why, and they're like, well, chemical reaction, and the stuff in the Castile soap is not the same as what's in salicylates, therefore it will not thicken. So if you want to try like I did, it doesn't work. So it'll only thicken the salicylates, but it's amazing for this recipe. So I hope you enjoy it. Bye.